Oh, hello, boys and girls, and Merry Christmas. I am Santa Claus. No, not the Norman Rockwell one. I am the Cossack one with the thick Russian accent. Trust me, this is Russian. Anyway, what I would like to do now is I would like to read to you one of my most favorite Christmas, traditional, controversial Christmas stories. That's right, Die Hard, a Christmas story. Now, if you don't mind, what I'm going to do now is I'm going to exchange my glasses for my reading glasses because I only wear those to look sexy, and then these I use to actually see stuff. So, here we go. And this, my friends, is going to be Die Hard by Doogie Horner and J.J. Harrison. It was the night before Christmas, and up in the tower, everyone was partying except for one wallflower. And there you see John McClane. That's right. He's the hero of the story. John McClane was sad and he missed his wife. Things just weren't the same since Holly had moved to Hollywood and changed her last name to Gennaro. He tried to win her back, but soon she said no, while unbeknownst to them, there was trouble below. And see, there's John talking to Holly, and then there's the truck, right? So, a truck pulled up, and who should disembark but 14 men whose intentions were dark. And you see Marco and Franco and Carl, and there's little Hans. That's very good. They spoke not a word, and unlocked big crates, and they cut the phone lines, and they locked all the gates. Carl swept the ground floor, shooting every guard dead, while visions of bearer bonds danced in his head. And there is Carl shooting the guard. It's very cute. I like his hair. It's very... John took off his shoes, making fists with his toes. It actually worked. Well, what do you know? And there's John making fists with toes. When out on the lobby there arose such a clatter, he sprang to the door to see what was the matter. When what to his wondering eyes should appear, holy crap, there are terrorists here! John hid under the table, and no one could see, and he watched Hans question Mr. Takagi. I'm going to count to 3. There will not be a 4. Give me the codes to open the vault door. And there are the terrorists, and there is Hans talking to Takagi, and there's John hiding under the table like a little mouse. He's very cute. I don't know the codes. You're just going to have to shoot. Okay, said Hans, and he ruined Takagi's suit. John tried to call the cops by pulling the alarm, but instead called the bad guys who tried to cause him harm. And then there's Takagi's blood, and there is the terrorist and John fighting and trying to call the cops. Yes. But John killed Tony, who had very small feet, and sent him to the terrorists as a Yuletide treat. He put on a Santa hat. He put the Santa hat on the German with his eyes all aglow and wrote, "Now I have a machine gun. Ho, ho, ho." And there he is. And there's the shirt. Carl was furious. Tony was his brother. He chased John across the roof, and they shot at each other. John was able to escape through the ventilation shafts. "Come out to the coast, we'll have a few laughs," John said. And there he is in the ventilation suit. Yes. And there's Carl shooting at him. Intrigued? Me too. At Nakatomi Tower, Sergeant Powell appeared. He checked the whole lobby and saw nothing weird. He was pulling away, but didn't get far before Marco did a nosedive and landed on the hood of his car. Pal drove away backwards, screaming in fright. "Welcome to the party, pal," John yelled with delight. And there's Pal walking across the lobby, and there's Marco sitting on the car. Yes. Marco, Carl, colorful names. More police arrived, the FBI and SWAT team. But Hans didn't mind. It was part of his scheme. More rapid than eagles, his henchmen they came, and he radioed and shouted and called them by name. Now Eddie, now James, now Franco, now Uli, on Fritz, on Carl, all long hair and unruly. I said that earlier. And there's the SWAT and the FBI. And there's all the henchmen. It's exciting. They shot the SWAT tank with a surface-to-air missile and knocked it away like the down of a thistle. Now John McClane was angry. He was angry indeed. He blew up two terrorists and called them jerkweed. Ellis says, "Hans, booby, I'm your white knight." Hans shot him dead, giving the hostages fright. Hans went back to check the explosives fuses, and he saw poor John wasn't wearing any shoeses. And there's the surface-to-air missile, and there's Ellis, and there's John and Hans, and John's not wearing any shoes. It's crazy. They should make a movie out of this book. John fled from Carl and Hans, but alas, he had to run barefoot over sharp, broken glass. His feet, how they hurt. His soles, oh so bloody. John crawled to the bathroom, and he called his good buddy. John was weary and ready to throw in the towel until he got a pep talk from Sergeant Al Powell. Powell was a chubby and plump, a right jolly old cop, and he trusted the cowboy in the tattered white tank top. But a reporter was probing into McLean's life and revealed that Holly was actually John's wife. Hans quickly flipped over the gold picture frame. "It's a pleasure to meet you, Mrs. John McLean." And there's Hans revealing Holly, and then there's John. His clothes all tattered with ashes and soot, and he staggered to the roof, bloody and barefoot. The explosives were wired to the rooftop with care, in hopes that the hostages soon would be there. John warned everyone the roof would soon blow, as the chopper sharded him with high-powered ammo. Around the waist he tied a fire hose tight, and screaming an oath, he jumped into the night. He dangled in the air and gritted his teeth, while flames inflamed the tower and circled them like a wreath. And there's the helicopter shooting at him, and there are the tower and the flames. Classic scene. Fiercely fighting his way back inside, John yelled out, "Hans!" He was done trying to hide. He limped to the vault like an old man on crutches, only to find Holly in Hans' filthy clutches. John dropped his gun, and he put his hands on his head. It seemed that he and Holly soon would be dead. But with a secret gun taped to his back, John shot Hans in a surprise attack. And, And there they are, right there. There's the gun taped to John's back. And there's Hans revealing Holly. And then there's John. It's exciting. Fiercely fighting his way back inside, John yelled out, "Hans!" He was done trying to hide. He limped to the vault like an old man on crutches, only to find Holly in Hans' filthy clutches. Hans fell out the window, still holding Holly's arm, and slowly, deliberately, raised his firearm. The tenacious villain held on by his nails, till John unlatched Holly's watch and said, "Happy trails." Bear bonds fluttered like fresh fallen snow as Holly embraced her blood-splattered bow. You see, and there's Hans falling, classic. Ooh, and there they are hugging, and there's that's very good. So Merry Christmas to all, and be kind to one another. But most of all, yippee-ki-yay, motherfucker! This has been a Die Hard Christmas. And you can join us every Tuesday around 11 o'clock for Morning Woodruff, where you will get this kind of fun and so much more. I hope you've enjoyed it. Happy trails!